Hi, this is the Lore Master, and welcome to my channel. I know that we've all been going crazy with the recent coronavirus, but don't worry, I'm still here and I'm going to bring you new content, and hopefully this channel will keep growing through the storm. Thank you for supporting me, and thank you for my subscribers, and don't forget to share if you like this video and subscribe. This is your friend the Lore Master, starting with Scott the Demon. Our main character walked through the dungeon. As he walked, a lot of guards saluted him as he walked past. Some of them started to whisper about him when he got past, but he did not care. Those guards were just low-level recruits, nothing compared to him. One could almost call them the lowest-ranking soldiers in the kingdom. He walked to the door with a number 7 on it. To his annoyance, the guard watching the door was asleep. This annoyed him. He then shouted, which woke the guard up with a start. The guard looked around in a daze for a second and was about to say something to the person who had woken him. When he realized who the person was, the guard was terrified. Saluted the man standing in front of him, and quickly stood to attention. Unfortunately, his superior was not buying it. He looked at him furiously. "Tell me, why were you asleep?" The guard answered quickly. "I'm sorry, sir, it won't happen again." "You're right, it won't happen again," his superior said. "I'm in a good mood, so I will let you off with a warning this time. But if you ever do it again in my presence or in front of anyone else," as he took off his glove, revealing claws, terrifying black claws, and hands that looked like they belonged to a monster or a demon. The guard was horrified by this. "Now this is what's going to happen if I catch you sleeping on the job again," the superior said, as he put his claw to his throat, and said, "If you fail me again," he dug his claw into the neck to bring just a little blood. "I will personally slit your throat myself with my bare hands," as he drew a red line of blood across his neck to indicate what would happen. "Now," his commander said, "get out of my sight. You have embarrassed yourself enough today." "Yes, sir," the soldier said. There came out more of a squeak than the gruff yes he was hoping for. The guard then ran as fast as his legs could carry him out of the dungeon and away from his commander's line of sight. "Moron," the commander said to himself as he opened the door to the cell. He walked in and sat down. There was a glass wall between him and the prisoner. He looked at the prisoner expectantly, as if wanting him to say something first. The prisoner was silent. "So," the commander said, breaking the silence, "have you thought about my offer, father?" "Your offer?" father asked. "Yes, my offer. The one I gave you when you were captured," said the commander. "I told you then my answer was no, and it is still no," his father said. The commander sighed, putting his hand to his head and rubbing his temple. "Why are you so stubborn?" he asked. "What on earth is wrong with you?" "What's wrong with me?" the father said. "Look at you, son. You're wearing all black. You have everyone who surrounds you terrified, and you're siding with a villain." The son sighed. "Father, you want to know why I'm siding with this villain? Here's why. I was 18 when I got here. How long did it take for this villain to take over? A week. He was running our people into the ground. He was cruel, heartless, and by all rights a monster. Then why, his Then why? The dad asked. Would you serve such a monster? Because no one else had any power against him, replied his son. The only one who had power to convince him not to do something was the people in his government. I figured if I could get a position of power, then I could convince him to do things that would be beneficial for our people instead of detrimental. You know, those people who are in power with him are the only ones he listens to, besides his other allies. So I joined the army, worked my way up from bottom to top. It has taken me 6 years to get this far. And look at all the good I've done in those 6 years. I have turned our town into a glorious city, a city that could rival anywhere else in the world. The dad looked at him and said, Yeah, you did, but you built that city on the backs of everyone who was forced to work for you. To work day and night around the clock, till some of them gave out in exhaustion. And for what? To build a couple of pretty buildings? To me, that doesn't seem worth it. The son looked at his father, offended. Oh, please, those people had food, water, and enough money to go back to their families with. And when they were done working the day shift, that's when other people would take over on the night shift. I did not work them to death, as you so bluntly put it. I even let the people who were tired rest, because people are more valuable resource and worth more alive than they are dead. Do you hear yourself? His father cried. You were talking about your people as if they were slaves. Please, slaves, really? Is that what you call them? Because the last time I checked, everything in the kingdom was working efficiently. There were more people in schools than there were before. There are more jobs than there were before. Education is through the roof. Under my leadership, we are not just surviving, we are flourishing. And what have you done for our people, by the way? Become a rebel, cause chaos, spread fear and panic? This is the last thing our people need right now. We need to come together to make our kingdom the best it can be, not tear ourselves apart in a pointless civil war, the commander said. It's not a pointless civil war. We are going to overthrow the tyrant who took over our kingdom, the father said. Oh, nice. You call your own son a tyrant. Love you too. Sarcastically. He said sarcastically. I am not overthrowing you, his dad said. I'm trying to overthrow the man you work for, Orlov. You really think you can overthrow Orlov? Asked the commander. You know, I thought you were crazy before, but now I know you are completely insane. I'm not insane. I'm just standing up for our people, so we don't have to serve that monster anymore, replied his father. And how are you going to do that? Asked the commander. Do you know how hard it would be to kill someone like him? First you have to fight your way through an army that outnumbers you tenfold. Then you have to fight his elite soldiers that have been trained since the day they were born to protect him. And after all of that, you still have to fight him, who has magic and is one of the most powerful magicians in our kingdom. Do you even know what you are up against? You may have been fighting me for a couple of years, but I am nothing compared to him. And the only reason you haven't been executed is because you are my father. And no matter how angry I will get, I will never be able to kill you. So what? You're just going to leave me in prison for the rest of my life? Asked his father. If that means you're alive and well, then yes. I'd rather have my dad alive in prison than dead in a ditch on some battlefield. And by the way, let me give you a rundown on what kind of power he has. Orlov has the power to change, not just himself into whatever he wants, but he can change living creatures into whatever he chooses. He can turn you into a bug and step on you without even thinking about it. Or he could turn you into a monster and have you fight for him as a mindless beast that he can control. That is the kind of power he has, and it is the power he has given me. I have the power to shapeshift now, but his powers are far beyond what I can do. All I can do is change my form. He can change the form of others, just as long as he can see them. And he can take animals and transform them into hybrids, like giving wolves wings or lions the armor of an armadillo. That is the person you are messing with. So please, not for my sake, but for your sake, just give up. I can pass your crimes onto someone else. Blame another person. It would be like you had never acted in rebellion. Then you can be on the top with me, and have more money, more food, and more glory than you ever imagined, explained the commander. So that is it. Are you just going to blame my crimes on someone else and have them killed? Asked his dad. The commander looked long and hard at his dad and replied, "Life's not fair. I mean, just look at it. If life was fair, we'd be on the same side. But we are on two opposite sides of a war. And this will never change. This will either end in my death or your death. Because even if by some freak of nature you win, what is going to happen to me, one of his elites, so high up in fact, that he has given me the power to run his kingdom, when he isn't here? Wouldn't I be the first one to be executed? Is that what you want? Me to kill or thrown in prison for the rest of my life? No, there's another option, his father replied. Oh really? What is that? Asked the commander. You can join us. Join the rebellion. Join my side. Please, Dad, the commander laughed his head off. Yeah, I'm going to leave my position of power, tick off the most powerful person in the entire kingdom, and join the rebels. What sense does that make? Son, it's just about doing the right thing. We have to fight against this. If we can work together, I know we can beat him. Just give us a chance. Just as the commander was about to say something, a boom echoed about the room, which shook the entire place. An alarm went off, and one of the soldiers burst open the door. Commander Scott, there's an attack on the palace. The rebels are storming the gates. What, are they crazy? Said the commander, asked. How many are there? The soldier replied, at least a couple thousand, sir. Oh, Scott sighed. This is perfect. Olaf is coming back, and he is going to be angry. And that is where I'm stopping it. Tune in for part 2. I hope you enjoyed Scott's story and subscribe for more stories like his on this channel. I love you, my subscribers, and keep being creative. This is Lore Master out.